We're so glad to have new people here. My name is Kata Mapes. I am the president of the Tech Club. Larry, who's behind there, is the vice president and in charge of the tech team. Could you introduce the tech team members who are here present?
Well, we got Harry over here. Look at the tech team that's here. Not too many others are here.
They're the
Tim and
ones,
myself.
yes, and Tim and Larry. So they're the ones who actually run the technology of the Tech Club. I'm not as tech savvy as I would like to be, but I'm learning. But they're the ones, they're like the little elves behind the scene that take care of things, like our house technology elves. And then back there is Liz Perry, treasurer. Lorene Rodriguez, secretary. Next to her is her husband, Martin, who is our director. And he is available just to help support the tech club and so forth. Did you want to say something, Harry? Oh, okay. If you didn't get one of these, let me know. This is a form you're going to fill out because Tim has a project going where he wants to make a member roster with names and pictures, so we can associate the name with the picture. How many of you are better at remembering faces? Who's better at remembering names? Not that many of us, so having them both together will be helpful. So you're going to fill this out when he comes to take your picture after the presentation. You'll just put it there like a mugshot, so that way he can have your name and all that information. But at the bottom of it, if you are a snowbird, would you just write snowbird? Is there anybody else who still needs this paper?
I don't need one, do I?
I think he has your picture, but if not, let's see. Larry, would you mind handing them out? Who needs it? Yeah, could you just give her one, please? And Liz. As members of the Technology Club, you get access to the computer lab. How many of you have been using the computer lab? All right, excellent. And there you can also print things. There are scanners, there's a shredder, there's a recycling bin, and there's other things. You can access a fax apparatus to be able to send out a fax. And so there's a lot there for you in the technology lab. Once a month we have these meetings, and at least through till May, we have different talks, tech talks. And there's a newsletter that you should have received. If you didn't receive it, on the back of that paper where you're writing your picture, could you just write didn't receive newsletter? Because especially if you just joined today, you probably didn't get it. However, you can also access the newsletter and all the other information about the club on our website. I'm going to turn this over to Larry, and he'll give you any other information about the Tech Lab and about the website. And then Tim Walter, our past president, and Larry will be presenting about Zoom today.
Okay, in the lab, we have not a lot of new stuff going on over there right now, but it's all functional, all working. We also have, we just renewed Microsoft Office. So we have Microsoft Office on all the computers over there. So you have access to Excel, Word, all of those programs on all of the computers over there. And if you do have any questions or suggestions or anything like that, there's a notebook over there on the wall. Just go ahead and grab that, fill it out. We try to check it at least every other day, if not every day. And be sure to leave the contact information so we can get a hold of you if you have any questions about what you're asking. As far as everything else goes, I didn't get a chance to get everything out, so.
While he's looking for that, I also would like to mention that next month in February, Liz's husband Doug is going to talk about Tesla, and they actually have one. Maybe we could go outside and see it. In March, we would like to do something about apps, and we want your input. Do you have a favorite app that you really like? Because we want to share that with everybody, because sometimes you find this fabulous app, so we want to know about that. So what you can do is send an email, or again, write on the back of that paper, the app that you really, that you recommend.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about a little bit was our webpage. I try to get the webpage updated at least once a month. Usually it's about weekly. We have enough changes that I go ahead and do those updates. That also has a place for, well, it has all of our newsletters, everything that's going on, plus recordings of our meetings. They're all up there. If you go to, I forget which page it's on, but you go to one of the pages on there and you can get to YouTube through there. And YouTube is where we're putting all of that stuff now. And you can actually subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that'll get you notifications when there's updates put up there. There's all kinds of things like that in the technology world we're trying to use to keep everybody informed. But the webpage is a good place for that, because like I said, I try to keep that up to date at least monthly. And that's about all I've got for lab and tech stuff. So
What is the webpage?
well, to get to the webpage, do you know how to get to Sunflower Living's webpage?
Oh, yes.
Okay, if you know how to get to Sunflower Living's webpage, you click on, I don't have it up here.
Living in Sunflower.
No, resident information, and then click on clubs/groups. And then we're over under the T's under Technology Club. And when you click on that, this is the page that comes up. And that's how you get there. And the web page for the community is sunflowerliving.com. That will get you to his page he was at. No, it's all, you just go into it, it's all free. Okay, and if you go under, that takes you to Facebook. The Facebooks, and you can get to
Sunflower.
yeah, I don't either. But if you go to resources, back on our webpage, go to resources. No, there it is, right there. Oh, there we go. You go there, and then if you just click on that YouTube icon up there, that will take you right to our YouTube channel. But yeah, just click on that YouTube right there. It'll just take you right there. And there you are. There's Sunflower Tech Club. You can see everything there without signing up to the channel, but we would like to have you sign up. That way you'll get notifications when there's new stuff going up there. So, yeah, everybody's on the Wi-Fi. So our meetings are up here, which means you'll get our tech talks. All that stuff is all up here. So you can see what we've held talks on in the past. Also back on our webpage under YouTube/presentations are a lot of the older presentations that were done. There's slideshows, things like that on how to cut the cord to the TV, so that you're not on cable any longer. There's all kinds of different things that you can do in there that they show you how to do. So that's some options that you have as well in there. So we try to keep that all up to date as much as possible, but there's a lot of the older stuff up there as well. Just it's stuff we feel is important enough to leave there. So That's it for our webpage and all of that. So let's go ahead and get started on Zoom.
Okay, well, if you've been a member the last couple of years, you probably remember seeing this picture up in the right front, because that's how we met. That's the only way we could do it. This was in April 2020. We were all kind of blindsided. We couldn't get together. And Gary Wagner is a friend of mine, and he taught our original Zoom class. This is a great resource. And hopefully I can add on to it and maybe even simplify it a little. The biggest challenge was, boy, trying to learn Zoom when you couldn't be in person. You couldn't show someone what to do and how to do it. If you're an iPad user, this session was just for iPads. And it is a different animal with iPads. The way you control and get into them. Yeah. Get this out of my way. There we go. I have it up. Get this back up. Actually, it's my. Need to share a new screen. So I'm going to.
Wait till that light that's shining on the screen about.
We can. Don't worry, don't go ahead. Here we go. Syncing up with the audience and doing it in person is a challenge, so bear with me. This is what I'm after. Okay, these are all devices that Zoom will work on. One thing it will not work on is your desktop PC if you don't have a camera and a microphone. You can dial in, but then you're using two devices to get on a Zoom meeting. But it will, the standalone is probably the worst place to use Zoom if you don't have a microphone and a camera. This portal TV was technology that came out to help that. It will allow you to take your big screen TV or your desktop and turn it into a Zoom. It has a camera and a microphone incorporated. I think it runs about $100.
Yeah, right around there.
Right around there. If you're interested in that, a lot of people like the bigger screen of their TV. And that's why they use that device. Of course, the laptop's probably my preference, just because it's portable. It'll have the microphone and the speakers and the camera built in, but it will work on your cell phone. The cell phone's its own animal as far as the controls. It'll be a lot of swiping to get to what you need, where when you're on your PC or your laptop, it'll pretty much be out in front of you. With this control panel is how you control your meetings or your side of the meeting. An iPad and a tablet will work. Again, we probably aren't going to get too deep on that today. Go back to that reference in the Facebook or the YouTube to see it. How you access the controls. Android is the same way. And the Echo Show, Amazon's Echo Show, I am not familiar with, but just about every portable device and every device you have in some way can be made to use Zoom. It's a matter of doing that, just getting that microphone and that camera set up. The biggest advantage to Zoom over just Facebook or plain communication, and this is why it's been so utilized in business, is you can screen share, which I already did a little bit of it. Something you may not realize is if you want to share, if you're on your PC or your laptop and you want to share what's on your phone, it is possible. You just go to your share screen and they have an iPad, iPhone option. You hit that and you do screen sharing with your phone, and you can actually share what's on your phone with someone you're Zooming with. But of course, you have to start with an account. Is there anyone here who has a mobile device not an account? Jerry, do you want to set up are you brave enough to be my guinea pig? I think you do because you joined me in this. Is there anybody that just has never had an account and wants to try to start one? In order to Zoom, whether you're hosting or presenting. Yeah. Okay, whether you're hosting or presenting, and I'm gonna try to see if this will work. It is thinking about it. It's gonna be an older phone. Is it new? I don't know. Oh, it could be because we're not on Wi-Fi. But I tell you what, I can set up your account using my phone.
Each back up a step. What is the Wi-Fi password?
The Wi-Fi password for
Village Center,
Village Center is
uppercase S on sunflower,
Start again.
uppercase S on sunflower, 9401.
Yeah, Larry will be around to help you get on the internet if you aren't.
Oh, that's if you go into the lab. And yeah, and so you could be connected to the sunflower Wi-Fi.
That's not working for me.
Connected to the Tech Club Wi-Fi. They both broadcasting here, so depending on which device, I mean, which the strongest device connected. But it connects, oh, okay, so that's why I got. Yeah, so it's like a stronger device. Yeah, it's
Larry was on my end, I can use her.
Yeah, right, so.
So the 2-year
I think we can use this one now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, June was nice enough to let us be a guinea pig. And so what we're gonna do, this is an iPhone, but it'll be very similar in a lot of ways. You just need to find the App Store in Apple. On your Google phone, it's going to be what Larry Store, I believe.
Okay, good.
What do you do if it tells you it's an incorrect password?
You probably typed it in by accident.
Wi-Fi is in capitals. On here,
Well, are you the Tech Club or the Sunflower Living? Okay. Tech Club would be Capital. Would be, yeah, capital W, capital I, capital F, capital I equal.
Oh, I need the equals.
You need the equal, yeah, 2022, and then small t and c.
That is for members only, just so you know.
So if you're here not a member, she's telling you you need to sign up today.
That's right, and I'm the treasurer, I'll let you down if you don't pay.
She will take your money.
I'll make one comment, if you've got a desktop and you don't have a camera and microphone, just go to Walmart for $30 to
Oh, I
$39.
get it.
You just get a UPS port wire, plug it in.
You're right. There are many, many options to get the hardware set up. So as we're going along, let's go ahead and get started. You just type Zoom, whether it's Google, whether it's your app store, your Google store, I believe they call it. And then it'll say you're looking for the Zoom cloud meetings, and she actually has it on here because it just says open. Okay, so here you can just sign in to the meeting. Now, if you go to your meeting, pull down on the meeting. Pull down on settings. Usually you're going to join a meeting with a link from an email someone sent you. No, go back to the security. Go back to the main screen. I gotta make yourself bigger. Either one. Actually, tell me, do you have the sheet of paper you need? For Jan? That'd be Jan, that's it. Yeah, she's on. Oops, I have it. Okay. Oh, that could be, we had a typo in the newsletter, or apologies. So if you want to join a meeting, she needs to sign in.
You're logged in now.
Oh, okay.
Our system, right?
Jude, what's your email account?
Now, do anything you want.
You know, we might have trouble with passwords here. I may go back to that.
What do you want to do? I have.
I think we might have a challenge getting that. Let's try to go back to where I can show you for today, and then we'll do some more individual training.
Now, you get an invite to a Zoom. You gotta go online. Not everybody can get on it, you have to be invited. So when I go on the list. Just click on that and it'll come up. It's really easy.
So once you've got your Zoom loaded on and you want to join a meeting, it will give you this button to join a meeting.
Right.
Normally, you're going to get a link in an email, which we did, and then if they're one number off, you're not going to be able to get in, and you'll be calling the meeting organizers like we are today.
They can do that.
So I'm going to join a meeting, and then in this case, our number today, you just type in. Every meeting has its own unique number. Okay, and then I'm going to join. And you'll either get a passcode or the host will let you in. There's two options. And I'll briefly go over that as well. And now it's going, I am connecting to our meeting that way. Okay, it's telling me it's being recorded and I want no audio so I don't get feedback. Normally you'll have audio. Okay, and it shows it's being recorded. Now on a cell phone, you have to swipe to get your different options. The microphone's muted, so you can tap it to speak. You swipe to the next screen, and up here is giving you your views. And one more, and here you can see all the participants. So that's how you would get on it on a phone. Let's go back to a PC and share that one. It's a little simpler on a PC. Okay, so I'm going to share this on a PC. Just go to a new screen. I actually use it enough. I have an icon on my Chrome, depending on the browser you're using. But if you just type in Zoom, again, you'll get the login. Okay, here it's going to say launch a meeting or join from your browser. If you're joining a meeting, you would use that option. And again, you just type in that number and the passcode. To join the meeting. And then once you're in, we'll go to hosting a meeting, but for now, let's look at your controls. So when you're in a meeting, this is where a lot of people really get, there are just so many things to get the look, and it's like any software now, you'll get so many options, but your view is probably the one you're going to be
That's
frustrated.
right. You can't hear this, can you? It's in my ears.
You have to mute it. Okay, the view, you've got speaker, and when you have speaker, I'm talking. Larry, go ahead and your microphone's on. So talk, just speak and see when he speaks. It should. Oh, I've got myself in. That's why. Okay, in speaker view, see, he just spoke, and now that I'm speaking, I should come up. And it's making a liar out of me. But speaker view, your speakers should come to your screen as they're speaking. Gallery view gives you these bricks where you see all the participants. So we've got my cell phone here. We've got me here on my laptop, and this is the laptop Larry's on that is actually controlling the meeting. Jan's joining us remotely. And I'll pin myself so I get the bigger view. If you pin, these three dots in the corner of your screen are how you control your screen. So I just pin myself, which means that no matter who's speaking, I'm still going to be up here. Then down here are my options as the participant. Okay, you can pull up your participant button and it'll show you who's on there. That's one way of doing it. The chat, a lot of meetings you won't have an opportunity to talk because you get so many feedbacks and background noises. So this is how you would communicate so your host can see. Okay. They don't like using this on the board, sunflower board meetings, but a lot of meetings you attend, this is what they will request. Okay, if I just want to send Jan a message and I'm here, you can pick a separate participant and send a message just to them. So that's a chat box. So in your bigger meetings, that's probably what they're gonna see. This screen share, I played with a little as you see it. See, this is gonna show every screen I have open on my computer. And it's also gonna show my cell phone or my iPad also. You can do a whiteboard, which allows you to draw. But a lot of it is just you need help from your grandson, right? So if you get on Zoom and he does screen share, he can show you on the screen. That's where it becomes so valuable. So he doesn't have to talk you through it, he can actually show you. The record button, you can record on your computer. And the host has to give you permission. If you look at the top left, you'll see it is recording, but that's recording on Larry's end. Now this one on reactions is especially important if you are attending Sunflower board meetings. They ask that you raise your hand. And this is where you find that under reactions, you'll find that raise hand. When you do that, Larry and I have this screen open, and what's going to happen is you're going to come to the top of the list. You see my hand is raised. So even if there's 40 people on Zoom, if you raise your hand, you'll go to the top of the list, and that's how we know you want to communicate to the board. Okay, and then you'll be automatically muted for background noise, but then we can ask you to unmute. I don't have my meeting set up quite like the board does when they do theirs, but then we ask you to unmute, and you can actually talk to the board. But that is where you find it, and it's very important if you're going to do the board meetings. If you're just having fun, you can clap at a speaker, you can send them a heart, you can cry, you know, laugh, all that good stuff. How you get rid of it, I'm not too sure. But so that is where you have control. You also have control here. If you are not hearing the speaker or you're not communicating, this is where you're going to find it down in this left lower. I know we're off our screen here, but it's at the left lower. And we call this a caret, but it's the thing that opens up all your options. Here we can test speaker and microphone. We can go to audio settings, and it gets real detailed. Some of us have several speakers options hooked up, whether it's our laptop or we have external speakers we plugged in. So that's where you control which speaker is going to come and also which microphone you're going to talk out of, or if you are. This is where you click it and you'll mute yourself. It's where you click it to unmute yourself. Another little trick if you are muted is to hit your space bar, and it will allow, it'll, in this case, because I don't have my microphone on, it'll bring it up. But you can just hold your space bar. It's like taking it off, unmute without having to click on the buttons. Okay, your video settings are right here. What's fun with those is you can turn yourself off, and then whatever you've loaded in your settings will come up. Mine's a picture, Jan just has her name. But here's where you can have some fun too. You can choose your virtual background, and you can upload all kinds of pictures. I decorated the house for Christmas, so I put that as a background, and then you can choose. When I'm in Arizona, I tend to use Denver, and when I'm in Denver, I tend to use Arizona. So you can have a lot of fun with that. You can really get playful with screens, which are down here as well. Choose video filter. And if I want to grow some facial hair real quick, which I have done, where is it? There we go. That should grow a mustache real quick. You can have fun with your grandkids. So those are all fun things when you get tired of just using it for business.
Tamara, is that on the paid version only?
No, that is on the free version. Let me, take those off because I'm feeling really stupid trying to talk to folks. I didn't realize you could do this. I could actually go upside down. The biggest difference between a paid version, boy, how did I do that to myself? Between the paid version and a free version, in what I've seen are recording, cloud recording space, which most of you are not going to record your meetings, so it's not an issue. And they will cut you off at 30 minutes. And during the pandemic, we did a lot of that. My grandkids are in Colorado, my son's up in Phoenix, my mother-in-law's in Colorado, so we ended up paying for the version just to get past that 30 minutes. You can just start a new meeting, but it becomes such a hassle. And we were playing bingo every Sunday just to get together as a family during the pandemic. So it became a value, but the free version, you'll get a half-hour meeting you can hold. And I believe you get about everything else other than cloud storage and meeting length is pretty much. It's relatively inexpensive, but if you don't need it, you don't need it. They've actually come down a little in the last year too. I think it's right at $100 a year, $10 a month, somewhere in there. One of the benefits of being a Tech Club member is you can use the Tech Club's Zoom account. So if you want to host a meeting or you need to do it, you don't have something at home. Do we have a system set up in the lab that'll do Zoom with microphone and camera? Just out of that, so we don't. So you would need to bring your own microphone and camera, or I'm sure we could scrounge one up, but
Most people don't want to do Zoom.
most people don't want to do Zoom because you're in a public space, but you're welcome to use the account. That's part of your membership benefit. Back to our controls. Another thing you can do that's kind of fun is you can go up to your, I gotta remove my pen. Which account am I on? You go to your three dots, you can rename yourself. One I like to pull to see if people are paying attention is I'll put in CIA surveillance. If I could type. And you can change your name. So there's a lot of fun things you can do as well. But that are just some of them. Get my cell phone pinned. I'll be losing my battery in my house, or I'm seizing up.
Tim, on the link thing, my experience with private Zoom things is that I get an email, it has a link, and I click on the link, and I don't have to do anything else other than join meeting. I don't have to put in passwords, I don't have to put in that stuff. Okay, so what you're describing is that if we're getting into something where there's a standing link, then there's a password because the meetings are different that are connected to that link.
There are a lot of ways to set up your security. And I'm just going to stop and get back on because I probably have too many things going and it decided to not like me. Well, there it is. What we're going to do, give me co-host, I think, Larry, if you can.
Security.
Okay, board this year. Thank you
You bet.
very much.
That's all the share stuff. Where is the code?
It would be on the top left. And let's go up there. I did not hit those where you see the recording button. You'll see a little shield with a green, it's a green shield. That's going to give you all of your meeting information. So if you're hosting, a lot of this is not so much when you get a link for Tech Club, or you'll get the link and you'll just log on. This is trying to show you how you can use it with your family, with your doctor, with other business people, maybe out of state, that want to show you things. This is the way you can do it, and you may be setting it up yourself, or you may need to get on, and all they'll do is send you numbers. So that's where I was going with that. But all your meeting information is going to be under that. I think I will leave the meeting. And then the best way to show you what your presenter is going to do is to start a meeting. So I'm going to get on my account and show you on the screen. I had set up a meeting. And when you get on Zoom on a PC as a host, this is what you're going to see for your account. If you can host a meeting, it'll do screen share only, video on, video off. You can join a meeting, or you can schedule a meeting. This is where you get all of these switches that tell you how they're going to set it up. You can have your duration. It'll only give you 30 minutes again if it's a free account, but you can schedule for Sunday at noon and then set up your meeting, and then I'll show you how you send that to your kids so they can join, or how Tech Club does it, or the board, or anyone else. Okay, the meeting's today at 11, or let's go 12, just to set it up. 11:30 will work for an hour. Arizona time zone, you can read Quorum. You can have a required registration. You can set up templates, which we won't do. These are your two levels of security. One is a passcode, one is a waiting room. A waiting room is where the host will see you come up as a participant and let you in. A passcode, it will give you that dialogue to type in your password, if you will, and you'll join automatically. It depends on how your host is setting it up. Usually I use the waiting room, but the passcode is usually what you'll find, and it'll be embedded in that link. So when you're done with all your options, and there are more, you can mute participants upon entry, automatically record. That's where this was you were asking about. And there are a lot of things that are probably things you'll never use, but when you're done, you just hit save. You can add it to your Google Calendar, your Outlook calendar, or your Yahoo calendar. Here it's going to tell you all of that good stuff. You can change your topic when you set it up as well. And then at the end, you hit copy invitation, and this is what you'll see pasted into your email. Okay, so you're going to copy that to your clipboard, and then you're just going to write an email and hit paste. And that will send that link to everyone that you want to participate.
Got a question along that line.
Sure.
I'm assuming there's some different people. Sometimes when I get that email, that link is in blue. So then I just click on it and I'm right in. Other times if it's just in black, then I gotta copy it and paste it into my browser. Why is it sometimes one way and sometimes another?
Well, when it's blue, it's what we call a hyperlink. And the software that created that link, because the address is just like a house address, it's black and white. And that hyperlink turns it into something that the internet recognizes as going to the web.
Now, is it the person inviting me that makes that decision?
Yes, yes. So whoever created that link, if you will, either created it as a hyperlink, which it'll be blue. If you see it and it's blue, you know it's automatic. If it's black, you can drag, copy and paste, or you can retype it, but you will have to retype it. Okay, that's the difference. And it is in the guy that set it up, not the guy that, as a user, you have no control over that. Okay, they'll give you your link. This is all stuff that we use when it's broken. Hopefully, you're just gonna do it, but just click on your link and be into your meeting. But if you want to create a meeting or schedule a meeting, family meeting or anything else, you can do that. They have plugins for Chrome and Zoom, and you can get real technical, I think, on our level. I doubt if any of you need it. If you do, let me know, and we'll get into it. We have a handout that we'll give you that goes through a lot of this again. Yeah, because me and Larry are still learning things, and we've both been using it for over a year. And trying to run meetings with it and control meetings. I would again recommend going back to YouTube. Go back to your YouTube. Again, Larry was nice enough to put that up. There it is, Clubs and Groups on our web pages. Again, get to the Sunflower, the Tech Club, and the YouTube presentations. And then click on your YouTube and go to the library. No, go to video. No. I am not that versed on YouTube, if you can't tell. Start about like everything, start over.
Now you see how us geeks learn all of this stuff. That's how we learn it.
Fail again. It's there it is, videos. Okay, these two, as far as Zoom, I would recommend a lot. This one on Gary, if you're in a laptop or a PC, this is definitely the one I'd recommend. If you're an iPad user, this iPad help sessions. 2020.
Automatically sign in. Some of the software, you can set it up to automatically sign in. I think Zoom remembers your password. Tell it to you.
Liz has a couple TED Talks up here that were excellent as well on smart devices. Your Alexis, your Siri, your all the home automation, Nest is what I'm thinking of. She covers in that. Any of Patrick's Chamberlain, Patrick Chamberlain is an excellent teacher, and he keeps it simple. He also jumps out of airplanes, but I won't comment on that. He teaches a very good class. He has an excellent one on security in Facebook that I need to go review again. They're always changing it on us, but if you want to keep your Facebook secure and you're on Facebook in general, so there's a lot of good information on here.
What's his name again? Pat Chamberlain. Thank you.
If any of you have been in his classes, you know he's very excellent. So
Tim, you should also mention your Facebook page.
There is a Facebook page. It is not sanctioned by the board. Just so you know, very clear. It's called United for Sunflower. Okay, we're up to 235 members. Now, this is what we call a closed Facebook group, which means, and Liz helps me moderate, Roger helped me create it. Did Roger leave? Roger left. But this is our bingo promo. If you are, have anything going on in the community, you want to communicate, please feel free to use it. But by a closed group, what we're saying is, oh, you have to be a resident of Sunflower or have a very, we make some rare exceptions. In other words, people who have moved out that still have a lot of friends in Sunflower, we won't kick them off. And people who are looking to buy in Sunflower just get a feel of Sunflower. So we make some exceptions, but generally, this doesn't go out to the world. This stays in Sunflower. So I'd encourage you to join. If you're on Facebook, just type in United for Sunflower under the search bar. When you go search that will come up. If you answer the questions that you live in Sunflower and how long and what your favorite clubs are, it'll automatically let you in. But you kind of have to know the answers to those. If not, we'll let you in. We just look up, make sure that you are living in Sunflower.
You can sell things on there. If you have a sofa you want to put up for sale or a chair or something like that, you can put that on the page. If you, a lot of people have been talking about speeders or almost getting hit by a car or just wildlife information. People have posted pictures of Halloween in their yards or whatever. Those kind of things. Kind of fun.
Contractor recommendations. This is a class for another day on how to use Facebook, but if you go to your search when you're in the group and type in like contractor recommendations, it'll bring up all of the posts that have, it should bring in a lot more, that have been under contractor recommendations. Let's go back. Things get tagged so you can see who other people, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. In fact, here we go. If you come over here and click, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so you can look at all the comments on what people had who were looking for an exterminator for pack rats, or Rhonda was looking for a handyman. Gail was looking for a window washer. So you can go down and you can see who your neighbors recommended. Liz had a recommendation, Suzanne. I mean, you know, again, this is Facebook. It is not, you can find about anything you want to, and it's not all accurate, and it's not sanctioned by the board, so take it for what it is.
Or people will have lemons they want to give.
Yeah.
Say, you know, stop by my house, I have lemons.
But one thing I will say about United for Sunflower is probably your most immediate form of communication, community communication. Suncatcher comes out once a month. We have to write our articles 2 weeks before it comes out. So it's pretty old news by the time you get the Suncatcher. The communicators once a week. This tends to get out there a little quicker, but it's a little less efficient. You never know what you're going to get, depending on how you have your feed set up. Facebook is, I think Patrick's taught 2 classes now. He's my Facebook expert. Liz knows a lot about it, and especially the security. If you need to secure your Facebook, a lot of people get hacked in Sunflower just because they don't have the proper security set up for it. But yeah, this is a fun little thing we've done. Please keep it polite, no politics, religion. It's not meant to bash the board. Intelligent discussions welcome, but it's not meant to vent on the board. But it is a good little Sunflower closed group.
I think the people who are snowbirds appreciate it when they're away.
Yeah.
They get to know what's going on while they're not here. I've been posting the pictures that are in the hallway, you know, the artists displays, and people enjoy seeing that who aren't here. That kind of thing. You don't feel like you're missing out. A lot of people haven't been able to get back, so because of COVID, so they enjoyed staying, keeping up with their friends.
With that, I will stick around for questions. It's a lot of material. Like I say, those YouTube videos are probably the best resource. This one will probably come up too. I like this format better because we're together and we can be a little more interactive than we were on Zoom, but those presentations were probably a little more factual and didn't get off track as much. So thank you for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Kata. And like I said, we'll be around. And if you want to be in the picture directory, which us that have a hard time with names and remembering faces would appreciate, let me know. I'll be around to take a picture.
Kind of left.
Well, then the vice president has to close out the meeting.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, now's the time to, speak up. This is your club. If you want questions answered about anything, or what would you like to see discussed in the future?
Another thing that we were asked by the board to ask for is more volunteers to help run a Zoom meeting for the board. Right now, Tim and I are the main ones that are doing that. And so once in a while, it gets kind of tight on whether we can do it or not. So they were looking for a few more volunteers, and we're more than willing to teach. It's not a problem teaching how to do that. And everybody's very forgiving if you make a mistake. Even the board is very forgiving about all of that. So, if you feel intimidated, don't. It's not that big a deal. So anyway, we're looking for volunteers for that as well. Anything else anybody wants to bring up? Yes. Anything else anybody wants to bring up?
What's the deal on the pictorial directory?
Okay, what we're doing is we're taking pictures. There's going to be a spreadsheet of membership that will have your name, your email, your picture, as long as you want that information out there. So all of that information will be kept in a spreadsheet, and then we'll make it available so that the membership can see it. That way, like Kata was saying, a lot of us are terrible with names, but we recognize faces, so it allows us to tie that together.
Online only, it's not a paper directory, it's just an online.
Do you want to show them? Do you have it on the Vets Club?
The Vets Club the Vets Club is where this came from. The Veterans Club has been using this for over a year now. And it's very handy for us and we use it actually for sign-in. We have a sign-in sheet that we use at the Vets Club. And on there, you've got the pictures, the names, emails, all of that. And it is available to the membership so that everybody can look at it and see what's there. Now, once we get this set up for here, we can put that membership list on our webpage so that people can see it. We'll limit it however the board determines they want to limit that, but we'll be putting it out there on the webpage so that everybody has access to it, so that when you come to a meeting, everybody can call you by name because they recognize your face. That's kind of what it's all about. So, any other questions? Okay, thank you.
What's your name? Oh, okay.
What's